friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I am doing another collab with my best friend and sister Steph. I will put a link to her channel, Not Your Basic Steph, in my description box, and she is the owner of a brand new UK indie brand, Poppy and Fluff Cosmetics. She has released her first palette, Indigo Dreams, which I do have in my possession. She sent that to me in PR, so I'll put a link to her website in my description box as well. If you have not yet discovered Steph, I highly recommend going to her channel and subscribing, and please go check out her website, her brand, and treat yourself to the Indigo Dreams palette. I know, shameless plug, I have to. She's my best friend and sister. No, I have to, I choose to, I want to. The palette is gorgeous, and I cannot wait to see what else she will come up with with her brand, you know, the product she's gonna be releasing. Steph and I met through YouTube. And she's just my best friend, and she's my sister. I know we were born in different countries. I don't care. I love her with all of my heart. And it's so fun to collab with her. And it had just been way too long. So I just did my collection and declutter videos, part 1 and part 2. And she sat and watched all of that video stuff and made a list of all the palettes we have in common. Can you believe she did that? She's amazing. And so we do have a palette in common that we're going to be creating looks with today. The Twilight palette from Colourpop. Now, I just got this during the Black Friday sale in 2024. I wanted it when it was first released, but I don't know, I just didn't get it. And then the sale, I was like, okay, I'm getting it. I do really love Twilight. I've read all the books. I've watched all the movies. I'm not like a huge Twilight fanatic or anything, but I do like Twilight, and I am Team Edward, absolutely. This is the color story, which is right up my alley. Cool tones, greens, blues, purples, grays, taupes, earthy, grungy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to dive into this palette today for the first time. I think Steph's used hers before, I'm pretty sure. But we're using it together, of course, today. And then I came up with 10 questions, right? Yeah, 10 questions for us to answer. This or that, team vampire or team werewolf, basically. Because, you know, Edward's a vampire, Jacob's a werewolf. And Jacob's fine, but I prefer Edward. Okay, so I'm going to start putting this eye look together and answering the questions. I do have this eyelid primed in the Juvia's Place Prep Prime eyeshadow primer. I think just doing one eye on camera today will suffice. And then I have the NYX Control Freak Clear Brow Gel in my brows. Okay, when I look at this palette, all I can really see are the greens, because that's always where my eyes gravitate towards. Let me put my glasses on. So what I think I'm going to do is use this shade here called Impossibly Fast. I'm going to use Bella too. I might use 17 or Unconditionally. I'm not sure yet, but I've got to use Lion and Lamb in this look. Abso-freaking-lutely. And then I think I'm going to use Irresistible as well. I really like the Cullens too. Should I use both of those? Maybe I'll use both of those. And then I think I'm going to pop Ice Cold in my inner corners, or Immortal. These two might be really fun together too. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I promise I will figure it out. Okay. I promise. And then of course I'm going to answer the questions, and I'm kind of interested to see if I'm going to lean more towards vampire or werewolf. I'm assuming vampire since I'm Team Edward, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how I answer the questions. Okay, so I'm going to start off by putting Bella in my transition area, and I will grab a brush. Okay, so the first question is, would you rather, number 1, be a vampire or werewolf? Vampire. Absolutely. I also, oh, I forgot to show you guys this too. This is on the inside of the palette. And that's really pretty. Love it. Bella and Edward. It says Twilight. So the lion fell in love with the lamb. Barf. I mean, great. Just kidding. Okay, back to the questions. Be a vampire or werewolf. I still am actually a huge fan. I used to be and still am. Jeez, what's wrong with me? I just can't talk today. Some days I just cannot talk in my videos. Quite often, actually. I used to be and still am a big fan of the vampire books that Anne Rice wrote. Vampire Lestat. I've read all of those books. I've watched all of the movies that have been made on the books. Like, you know, Interview with the Vampire, Queen of the Damned. Excuse me. I have something going on in here. So I'm like, great, fun. What else? What other movies were made? I think there was like a couple movies that were made of Queen of the Damned. And I absolutely loved all of that stuff, all of it. And also I really liked the Anne Rice Mayfair Witch book series too. God, that's good. So good. If you guys have never read the Anne Rice, I mean, of course I want you to read Twilight too, but I know that we're not really talking about the Anne Rice, but vampire related, okay? Highly recommend reading those books. God, they were so good. So good. Okay, number 2. Would you rather be able to fly or run on all fours? To fly. I mean, I guess it would be kind of cool to run on all fours, but with my back as bad as it is, I don't know that my back would stay bad if I was a werewolf. I don't know, maybe I would be, you know, you're superhuman, right? So you probably don't have a bad back if you're a werewolf. I don't know, but I would much rather fly. I just think that would be so cool to be able to fly. That's something that I like when someone says, what if you could have a superpower, what would you want it to be? I always say flight. I want to be able to fly. Absolutely. Number 3, sleep in a coffin or sleep in the woods. That's tricky because I'm extremely claustrophobic and I don't think I could sleep in a coffin. I really don't. That's a really nice shade. I'm going to take another shade around the edge. That's tone it down a little bit. Now I'm going to go into Impossibly Fast, this dark green, and deepen up the outer view with that. I mean, I've slept in the woods before, but like in a tent or a cabin, you know, I don't want to just lay down on the woods floor and sleep. And also, it does scare me to sleep out in the woods. I have had a couple of weird experiences, just, you know, not super crazy or anything, just it scares me a little bit. So that's, but I guess with my severe claustrophobia, I'm going to have to say sleep in the woods. I'll just make it work, hopefully, right? Try not to scare the crap out of myself. Let's see. Number 4, be covered in fur or have fangs? Have fangs. It would be really fun, I think, though, to be covered in fur. I commonly tell my cats that, like, oh, I wish I was you and could be covered in fur and be nice and warm and cozy all day long. But I also have watched my cats clean themselves, okay? And I don't want to have to lick my own fur. My husband and I were just talking about that over the weekend because we were watching Bitsy clean her face, like, you know how they lick and then it's so cute. But he's like, what if you had to do that? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I would rather have fangs. I mean, that would be kind of weird looking and maybe a little uncomfortable. And people would probably wonder what the hell was wrong with my teeth. But you can hide fangs, right? You can hide fangs. Okay, I'm gonna go back into Bella. That's a really nice shade. So far, I mean, 2 shades in and they're fine. I mean, there's nothing like super spectacular about them, but I like the tones and I think they're very nicely pigmented and they're blending well and applying easily. And yeah, very happy with this. Absolutely. And you know, I probably could have duped this palette, sure. Not all the shades, but some of them, sure. But I didn't want to. I wanted to get the palette. So I got it. Okay, so now for the shimmers. Yes, I'm gonna go into Lion and Lamb, put that here. And then I do think I'm gonna put Immortal towards the front. I would like, I mean, I could, but I just, ooh, yeah. The next question, howl at the moon or have no reflection? I'd like to howl at the moon. Am I a werewolf? Am I team werewolf? No, I think I'm answering more questions towards the vampire side of things. I'd rather howl at the moon. I think that would be badass. I mean, I think it would be really creepy if you didn't have a reflection. You know, if you went and looked in the mirror and you're not there, that would probably freak me out. OMG. That is absolutely stunning. Holy crap. Beautiful. Oh, that is so beautiful. You know, you could just use this shade across your lid and that would be it. You know what I mean? This is so freaking gorgeous. And I do not have a shade like this in my collection. Oh, I love it. Okay, next question. Now, this was me kind of being dorky. Be allergic to silver or garlic? Not really allergic. I was trying to be funny. Like have an intolerance to silver or garlic because, you know, werewolves, you kill them but with a silver bullet, and then vampires don't like garlic. I love silver jewelry. And I do love garlic, you know, I really like garlic a lot. I mean, I can't just sit and eat like roasted cloves of garlic, because that's too much. And I know a lot of people that love to do that. That's too much for me, but I do love garlic. I guess I'd rather be allergic or intolerant to silver. I don't want to give up garlic. I love garlic. So what does that make me in that question? Number 7, stay out of the sun or be afraid of a full moon. I'm fine with staying out of the sun. Absolutely fine with staying out of the sun. I'm such a wimp when it comes to heat, hot weather, you know? So yeah, I'm fine with staying out of the sun, and I'm already pale AF. Okay, so now I'm trying to decide if I want to go into irresistible or immortal. I really like that shade too. I'm just going to go into immortal because that's where my eye goes to. So let's just do it, okay? And I'm going to use a little bit of a fluffier brush because I think this is kind of a flaky shade, and I want to get the shade onto the brush. So I'm going to use this this fluffier brush. Number 8, be purely driven by instinct or maintain rational thoughts. Now, that's also kind of a dorky question because I do think that vampires, once they get really, oh man, that is beautiful. I'm going to have some fallout from this shade, but I don't care. God, that's beautiful. Oh yes, I love this look. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's so gorgeous. I do think that once vampires get like that bloodlust, they're not really having rational thought. But I was thinking about like the in-depth conversations that are had in the Interview with the Vampire movie about being a vampire and how they live and that type of thing. And, I mean, being a vampire is very irrational anyway, and it's not real. I get it. Or is it? I'm just kidding. So that's kind of where I was going with this question. I would rather have rational thought. I mean, I'm fine with instinctual behavior as well, but for me personally, I'd rather be more rational and less instinctual, because I think sometimes instinctual behavior isn't always the greatest. But sometimes rational thought doesn't help you out either. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Lion and Lamb with my finger and just kind of, I don't know, morph these two shimmers together a little bit better. That, what is it called? Immortal shade is so beautiful. It's so sparkly and, oh, I love it. Okay, next question, number 9. Be mortal or immortal? Because, vampires are immortal and werewolves are not. I think werewolves live a long time, right? They're going to die eventually. They're going to, yeah. Here's the thing. I think it would be so freaking cool to be immortal, but also when I'm ready to fly on out of here, I'm ready to fly on out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know I don't want to be like, depressing or like, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, depressing. There's a lot of pain that comes with life, honestly. And even though life is, love life, of course, duh. Yes. Also, there's a lot of hardships that are involved with life. And I just think people get to that point where they're like, okay, I'm done with the hardship. I'm ready to just, whatever you choose to believe, go out into the great beyond, right? And I think I'm going to get to that point in my life where I'm like, okay, beam me up, Scotty. Okay, now I'm going to go back into Impossibly Fast and take away the edge of that Lion and Lamb shimmer shade. Okay, last question, number 10. Remain in human form or transform into an animal? That's tough because I do think it would be cool to transform into an animal. That'd be badass. But werewolf transformation, that does not look like fun. Have you seen the movies where they transform into the werewolves? It doesn't look fun at all. It looks extremely painful and disgusting, honestly. So I feel like that, if I could change into an animal and have it not be, so I'm gonna go back in with my finger, and have it not be super ouchy painful, and it's totally freaking bizarre, but it would be totally freaking bizarre if you turned into a freaking animal, obviously. I don't know why I keep saying the word freaking, but I do. I don't know. I guess I just rather stay in human form. But it would be really freaking awesome, here we go again, with the frickin', to turn into an animal, don't you think? Or am I just a total wacko? I don't know, you guys. I don't really know that I need to put a lighter shade around the edge of this. I really just like the depth of the shade, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job of taking that really harsh edge off. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. I might change my mind when I go off camera to do my other eye, but I really just like the kind of the smoky outer edge of that shade. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like these two shades though are not jiving together as well as I hoped that they would. Like, just with my skill set, I don't always do a great job of that, but love the shades. So I'm gonna think about what I lean more towards. I'm pretty sure it's Vampire as I put the rest of my face on and clean up the fallout here, but I'll be back. So this, of course, is my finished look, and I love how it turned out. So happy I picked up this palette. You know, I kind of kicked myself for not getting it when it was first released. I'm like, you don't need that. You can dupe that. You don't need that. But when they had the Black Friday sale last year, I'm like, I'm getting it. I don't care if I don't need it or not. I mean, does anybody need makeup? No, but I love it. And I will be doing a multiple looks video with it soon. Absolutely. I have other palettes I need to get through that I haven't used yet also, but then I'm going to circle back to lots of stuff because I have 11 months ahead of me of a no-buy. There goes some cat hair. Of course. So let me show you everything I have on my face, then I will review the eyeshadow palette with you guys. Okay, so I'm just using a lot of the same stuff in every video. This primer, these two base products, and this powder. Okay, and then for my bronzer, I use the Ciate London Bamboo Bronzer in Palm Island. Loving this. Blush, I use the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Blush in Spiced Plum. Just thought this color would look nice. Upper lid liner, Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Waterproof Felt Tip Liner in black. Lips, Menagerie Cosmetics Liquid Lipstick in the shade Kodiak. I love this shade. I don't have another shade like this in my collection, and I love it. I used a highlighter out of the palette. Is that it? I don't know why I always feel like, oh, Maybelline New York Sky High. Did I say that yet? This is my mascara that I use. I'm obsessed. And Steph let me know that this is now being made in other colors. I think I talked about that already. Gotta do that. Get some of those. Okay, Twilight palette. Love it. I did use the shade called Ice Cold under my brows, in my inner corners, and as my highlighter today. I'm really trying to remember to use shades out of an eyeshadow palette for blush or highlighter, say. I could even, you know, bronzer even, whatever. But, you know, something I've always really wanted to do, and I think I'll do it, and then I forget. So I'm really trying to remember. Love the mattes that I used. I used this on my lower lash lines along with the shade here, and this is called something Out Loud. Hold on. I hate having such horrible. Say it out loud. Okay. So I used this shade, the Impossibly Fast, with that on my lower lash lines. These two shades worked really well. I'm really happy that I didn't use a lighter shade to blend things out with. I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at, you know, blending things out with the shade and not having to use something lighter to do that with. I just felt like these worked so well together. And then the shimmers, oh, this is so beautiful. I love how flippy it is, and the depth of it's really nice, very grungy, earthy. Now, I do love this shade. I think it's gorgeous. But it's a very different formulation or texture than this shade. And it looks pretty textury on my eyelids. You know, older, so I have quite a bit of texture from the shade, which I don't really care. Who gives a shit, really? But what I wish I'd done is use these two together because they're more of the same consistency. I don't know that that matters. This would be really fun as a topper too. And I kind of do wish I'd use these two together. These two would be beautiful together. I'll do that in the future. I mean, I've had this palette I have now for the rest of my life, but I think it's a gorgeous color story. Love how this look turned out. And I cannot wait to see what Steph did with the palette, see if we use similar shades or not. And I feel like after really looking at the questions and how I answered, I'm a vampire, right? I'm team vampire. I'm team Edward. Not that I don't have anything against werewolves or Jacob or whatever, but I just really jive more with the vampire. Is that bizarre? It is bizarre. So make sure, if you have not yet already, go to Steph's channel and subscribe, show her a ton of love and support, and make sure you check out her new brand, Poppy and Fluff Cosmetics. I'm so excited for her. Can't wait to see what else she releases. And it's always such a pleasure to collab with her. She is so special to me. I love her so much. And when we get to do stuff like this, it's just really easy and comfortable. And like I said, I'm just really looking, or did I say this? I'm really looking forward to our next collab. Absolutely. And I want to see what she is. Is she a vampire or is she a werewolf? Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.